What is with football teams in California being total laughingstocks? The Raiders were one of the premier Lolcows of the last decade, and the Chargers and 49ers I've already gone over. It's the wildfires, isn't it? That or Sony Pictures has corrupted the entire state. Unfortunately, that's not enough suffering. Today, we have a new challenger! The Rams are back in Los Angeles, a home where the nostalgia had worn off in roughly 4 weeks' time. It's as if they realized that for a team to be endearing to the local populace, they have to be somewhat good. The Rams are the antithesis of this thinking. The team as a whole has been, at best, totally forgettable for about 15 years. Remember those days where the greatest show on turf laid waste to stadiums across the land? Those were some awesome teams, weren't they? Now all they have to lay their hat on is completely wasting the career of Steven Jackson. The only time this team has been notable are for things that have happened off of the damn field. Hands up, don't shoot. How about you actually catch the goddamn ball, Jared? Everything about this team has been golden opportunities pissed away in a sea of impotence. The Redskins offered them a king's ransom for Dan Snyder to have wet dreams about RG3. This was to be the Herschel Walker trade of this generation. We should be talking about the Rams dynasty right now. Yet they blew it. They fucking blew it. The only player worth a damn from that trade is Alec Ogletree. Nearly every other pick fizzled like a Gene Roddenberry boner. Even worse, they did the same goddamn thing once they moved to LA. They sent a king's ransom of picks to the Titans to make a splash with the first overall pick. And in typical Rams fashion, they fucked it up. They drafted a guy who can't throw a football if his life depended on it. At least RG3 had that spectacular rookie season before injuries ruined him. Jared Goff has the potential to be a bust this league hasn't seen since Jamarcus Russell. He's that terrible. You look at some of his game film and you shit bricks as to how people saw him as a top draft pick. Of course, some of this blame has to go on former head coach Jeff Fisher, who was honestly a perfect fit for the Rams. Both of them haven't been relevant since the early 2000s. He had been at the helm in St. Louis since 2012, leading the team to 4 years of total mediocrity. Then the whole situation got murky. He signed a secret extension before the season even started, and then gets fired 2 weeks after the extension got leaked.
I'm not fucking going 7-9.
He's right. He went 4-9.
Oh, snap!
What truly makes this team into a malignant tumor on the NFL, however, is their owner, Stan Kroenke. The longer you look into his history and actions as owner, the more you see him as a colossal piece of shit. Look at how the man cried crocodile tears for the past few seasons in order to get sympathy from the NFL. Meanwhile, he trots around St. Louis going, "I love this town, I want to keep the Rams where I grew up, and tradition and dynasties, and fuck this fucking city, this town is cancer!" Yes, what you're seeing is Kroenke throwing the entire city under the goddamn bus. Here's a theory, Stan. Maybe the fans aren't coming out to see the Rams because they've been as lively as that fucking hairpiece of yours for the better part of a decade. Regardless, the city of St. Louis offered you everything you wanted and then some, yet you still fucked them over at the 11th hour and moved to Los Angeles. St. Louis, let's be honest, you're lucky he didn't accept. You don't deserve this man dangling you and your money by a string. He is a top hat and a twirly mustache away from being a stereotypical villain. Not those cool ones, mind you. One of those cheesy Saturday morning cartoon villains who punch babies and close down the orphanage for a few extra bucks. The worst part is that description isn't too far off. This past fall, Kroenke desired to expand his ranch in Texas to stake claim for biggest asshole in America. Unfortunately, this would involve moving settled homeowners in the area out. He then used the powers of eminent domain to end their leases and give those pesky people the banhammer, eventually culminating in one of the former owners committing suicide. This man is the absolute worst parts of capitalism and greed congealed into a living mass of flesh. I would normally take this time to hope that a team will improve and return to their past success, but I don't want that for the Rams. I want this team to fail miserably in everything that they do. Stan Kroenke does not deserve success for what he did to those landowners in Texas, fans of the Rams, and the entire city of St. Louis. The cracks are already showing this year. If there is one thing that Angelenos do not tolerate in their sports teams, it's mediocrity. There are far too many options for them to spend their entertainment dollar to waste their time with the lifeless 4-12 Rams. Even with a solid defense and Todd Gurley, they will continue to rot with allegations of apathy and malcontent. All I can hope for is for someone to rip off Stan's hairpiece to reveal tiny man-hating aliens inside, controlling a soulless husk of a man. That would actually make a lot of sense.
Into the nickel, second down, 11 for Keenum. Right through the hands of Austin, and picked off on the ricochet by Landon Collins. And Collins has the pick. His first of the year, breaking one tackle after another. And he's got some blockers ahead like Jenkins and Casillas, and he's inside the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown!